Hey everyone, it's Mr. Robinson here. Welcome to my spoiler-filled review for The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which opened up this weekend to $92 million in its opening weekend. Not record-breaking, but still a very good amount for the web crawler. This is going to be a review to really go into detail of the things that I didn't like about the movie and the things that I did like. Mainly stuff that I really couldn't talk about because they're spoilers, particularly the big event that happens in the comics and the Rhino. Let's start with the Rhino. Why exactly did I hate Paul Giamatti as the Rhino? Well, at the beginning of the movie, he's just some regular mobster driving a truck filled with nuclear stuff as Spider-Man's swinging around trying to chase the guy. He finally gets the Rhino, or the Russian gangster, I forget his name, but it ends with the shot where Spider-Man is dodging those bullets that he's shooting. You see it in the trailer when the Rhino's shooting a machine gun at Spider-Man, and the bullets just do that Matrix bullet time bullshit, which I fucking hate. I hate that little bullet time effect that every movie uses just because the Matrix used it. I mean, it was cool in the Matrix, but it is not cool here. It is not cool that any movie decides to rip that off, where you see a bullet go by in slow motion, you see the little shock waves, I guess, or the sonic waves. It just comes off as cliched, and that needs to die, because action is better when it's fast-paced, it's exciting, not when it's in slow motion or when it slows down to show something cool and then speeds up again. I just don't like that. But anyway, back to the Rhino. Spider-Man manages to disarm him, pull down his pants, and basically web him to two lamp poles. And then that's it. That's all we see of Paul Giamatti until the very end of the movie, where he dons the Rhino suit. And the very last shot of the film is what you see in the trailers, where Spider-Man and the Rhino are going head-to-head in slow motion, with Spider-Man has that manhole cover on his webs and swings at the Rhino, and then it cuts to credits. Chris Stuckman, in his review, said that the Rhino charging at Spider-Man was in the trailer, and he didn't say what exactly it was in his review, but he said, a vital, misleading shot in the trailer is the very last shot of the movie. I thought to myself, well, no marketing team would be stupid enough to leave a vital cliffhanger shot in the trailer. But yeah, they did. You don't see that fight between Spider-Man and Rhino in that ridiculous outfit. And it's just, I mean, here's the thing. Once Paul Giamatti disappeared, knowing that information, that there's a vital shot in the trailer that happens at the last minute, I knew exactly what that shot was, and sure enough, I was right. So those are the reasons why I don't like the Rhino. I mean, Paul Giamatti's obviously too cartoonish, too over the top to come off as good, and once he's in the Rhino suit, he is literally shoehorned in the movie. Although, I do like one line that Spider-Man says towards him near the end of the movie, where he says, "On behalf of the people of New York City and real rhinos everywhere," because I mean, that Rhino suit just doesn't look very good. But let's get into the one thing that I really liked. The iconic moment in comic books, the death of Gwen Stacy. That happens in this movie. The Green Goblin comes in after Spider-Man has defeated Electro in almost a shoehorned way, because they felt like they needed to kill Gwen Stacy. And, yeah, Gwen Stacy dies. I mean, when Spider-Man was fighting Electro, I was like, okay, this is a very cool battle. It's flashy. It's fun to watch, but there's not a whole lot of tension going on. And the reason why Gwen is there at the fight, because she's in the building trying to help out Spider-Man, turn on the power so Electro can basically overload and explode. And so once you think everything's resolved, Harry Osborn comes in as the Green Goblin. Spider-Man and Green Goblin have a little bit of a confrontation, and then Spider-Man and the Green Goblin have a small confrontation, and then the Green Goblin snatches up Gwen Stacy, goes into a clock tower with Spider-Man hot on his trail, and I was really nervous. As soon as that action scene happened, I was like, I knew it was gonna happen. I knew the death was going to happen, but to see how it played out made me nervous and put me on the edge of my seat. I mean, it's a nail biting, really intense moment. And when Gwen dies, it could have been done a little bit better. I mean, a little bit, but I think when it happens, it's a very powerful moment since the chemistry between Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy was very strong, even with that will there, won't they bullshit throughout the movie. And I thought it was just really well handled. So I appreciate that the filmmakers took one of the most iconic events in comic books and put it into film and made it work. So those are really the two main things I wanted to touch upon in terms of spoilers, but there were other things that I liked and disliked, little things. Now, Chris Cooper, as I mentioned in my spoiler-free review, is in the movie as Norman Osborn, and he's pretty much wasted. I mean, we see him, like, literally on death's door, and not 3 or 2 minutes later, he dies. So that part I didn't like so much. Although one thing I did like is that there's a character in here played by Felicity Jones, who's Harry Osborn's assistant, named Felicia. And this character, Felicia Hardy, turns into the Black Cat in the comics. It's basically Marvel's Catwoman to Spider-Man. And that I really liked, playing that little seed. I'm hoping we could see Felicity as Black Cat sometime in the future. And I'm admittedly kind of curious to see Sinister Six and how that's going to play out. Just little things here and there. I do like the movie to an extent. I mean, Spider-Man is one of my favorite comic book characters. Right next to Iron Man and Captain America, it's Spider-Man. I just wish this movie was a little better. It's not a complete loss because at days I go from not liking the movie but loving things about it to liking the movie but knowing that it has flaws. So when it comes out on Blu-ray, I'll rent it again, really give a final thought on it, and just see what turns out. But for now, I'm happy I saw the movie. If you really have a desire to see this movie, even though I spoiled the movie for you, you should go see it and make up your own mind again, as I mentioned in my spoiler-free review. And that's all I have to say about the spoilers for The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Leave a comment, tell me what you thought of the spoilers, subscribe to my channel for more stuff in the future, check out my other channel, AlexG8462. You can find links to my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr accounts on my YouTube channel. Go to letterboxd.com, letterboxd.com, and look for The Real Mr. Robinson to find my diary of all the movies I've seen since joining the website and a list of all the movies I've seen in my entire lifetime. Share a movie with your friends and tell them about me, and remember to know it before you see it. This has been The Cinemas with Mr. Robinson, and I'll see you guys later.